What is up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Whiskey Gingers podcast. I'm Brandon. He's Chris. This episode is currently only airing on YouTube. There seems to be a problem with our premium Twitter account. So we'll get that fixed before the next episode. But we are in a bit of a pinch that way.
Kind of had to go with the fly on this one. So one of the topics we'll get into for tonight later on is one of the reasons why we're doing the show virtually tonight, and that's because my wife and I are expecting a baby, and the wife was just feeling a little bit under the weather today, so I just wanted to be home close by, make sure that I was there for her. So we are doing a virtual. Hopefully we don't have to do them too often, but I feel like the prospect of having a kid throws a little bit of a monkey wrench in that. So
it might get a little bit more virtual, but we'll find a way through it. We'll work in some guest hosts. You might see a little bit more Ryan and Jeff filling in from time to time, but we'll find a way to keep putting content out for you guys. The reason Chris and I were just kind of chatting like before we started the show, and I was like, look, dude, we really got to get this show on the road because I just got an ice maker. This has been about 5 months coming for me. I'm very excited. I've been working out of a ice tray for a long time. The downside with the ice maker is it makes these hollow ice cubes, so they melt almost instantaneously. And I have a really nice bottle that I have a bottle of Egan's that I've been kind of working my way through. You and I did this on the pod a while ago. I just kind of forgotten about it. So I wanted to get to this before my ice turns into water, and I water down an enjoyable bottle of whiskey. Oh, also, I don't think I get to do it again. I accidentally did like the best cork pop ever, but it was just by complete accident. I don't know if I can do it on command. Yeah, it's decent.
Oh, there you go. That was pretty good.
The first one was like twice as loud. I was so excited.
You know, I just found out that recently I watched a video, and it looked like what you can do to make that actually a little louder is when it gets wet is when it's louder. So if you had the bottle standing up for a while and you like tipped it over like that before you opened it, it should make it louder.
What if I just opened it right now? This is a complete idiot.
That would be a waste of perfectly good whiskey.
Maybe a little bit louder.
I don't think it's going to be any louder than it already was, but
yeah.
I'm going with some Old Reliable tonight. There's actually some backstory behind this one too, but I got this little tiny bottle of Jameson here.
Yeah,
that
bottle.
was an award from a challenge, so I'm gonna crack this sucker open and get a little.
I remember liking this the first time around. I'll have to go back and watch our own episode because I don't remember enough from the whiskeys, but Egan's
I was gonna say, what do you think now? As like a retrospective, what are your thoughts on it now? Does it taste like do you initially, because in your brain you remember it being something that you liked? Is that immediately something that you're like, oh yeah, that's great?
It's got like it's kind of walks that line that we've kind of been finding lately, where it's like a bourbon Irish whiskey, which I like. Like we've gone on a run of so many bad Irish whiskeys, except for the one we did. What was it? Last cast? We had a really good Irish.
Yeah, that was really good. That was the I don't even remember what the name of that one was. Oh, it mixed something. It was really good.
Yeah, so that one kind of brought us back. But before that, we'd had a run of bad ones, and every time there's a bad one, we always kind of say like they're flavorless, they're watery, they're kind of bland. And what I remembered about Egan's, and what is still true, is if this has a flaw, it might even hit too hard for an Irish. But it certainly isn't boring, and it certainly isn't bland. And that's why I was kind of excited to get back into it.
Well, that's pretty good. I mean, I can tell you that Jameson still hits the mark every single time. I mean, I feel like in some ways it's a gold standard for like just baseline Irish whiskey. That might be a loaded topic. I mean, there's definitely people out there that like can't stand Jameson, but I always thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, I'm with you, and I'm guilty of kind of probably becoming, when we first started this podcast, the people we started it like not for. Like I find myself almost becoming like a whiskey snob in a sense, to where Like Jameson used to do it for me. I used to be like, oh, dude, Jameson, I would love some. And it still tastes great. It is a really good Irish whiskey. I just don't get as excited for Jameson as I used to because we've tried so many of these unique, exotic whiskeys. But you're right. Jameson's like a Honda Accord. Like, it's not going to be flashy. It's not going to be a showstopper. But, damn, it's going to get you there every single time.
It'll get you from point A to B reliably.
Absolutely. Yes.
Reliably. 300,000 miles plus.
If point A is a happy marriage and point B is a motel, Jameson's going to get you there every single time.
Sometimes it might expedite it.
Yeah, it might get you there a little bit quicker.
That's pretty funny, actually.
I was looking forward to this one today. Once I knew I got to pick my own, because the one we were going to do, which we're still going to do, it was something that I forgot about, and we just kind of wanted to wrap up. It'll make sense in a couple weeks. We wanted to wrap up a portion of what we did on the show. But then once that was out the window and I could just look into my whiskey empire and choose, I was pretty stoked to dig back out the Egan's.
Sometimes I find myself doing the same thing. I mean, we get so caught up sometimes with like doing a different whiskey every other week. So like I'll have a large collection of new stuff that comes in. You'll have a large collection of new stuff that comes in. That sometimes I forget about the ones that we really enjoyed that kind of like fell to the back of the shelf for a little bit. And then I'll just be like going through it one weekend and thinking to myself, oh, wow, that's really good. I can't believe I forgot about that one.
Yeah, because at a time, it was like the shining star. It was when people come over, you want a glass of this. But then, it gets to be less and less flashy over time, and it works its way to the back of the pile.
For sure. I mean, I am fully loaded at this point with Eagle Rare in the house, thanks to you and Jeff, and also my mother-in-law, plus the bottle that I already had.
Oh, she hooked it up with the bottle too?
I don't think that I told you that at the baby shower, but
no.
The day before, she had bought me a bottle of Eagle Rare. Like, I was on my way down on Friday to the shore, and she's like, I'm at the liquor store. I want to get you a nice bottle of something. I know you talked about Eagle Rare all the time. It's here, and they were selling it for like $54.99. And I was like,
she did better than I did, and I know the guy.
I'm like, buy it, buy it, buy it, buy it. I'm like, are you kidding me? For that price?
I'm buying it direct from supplier, and Marla's still beating me.
I was gonna say, you better contact your hookup and say, what the heck's up with that?
I'm paying, like, I'm not even paying retail. I'm paying what the hell's the word for it? Like
wholesale.
I'm paying cost. So whoever she's getting it from is not getting it from my guy. Those aren't Sazerac prices.
I don't know.
Yeah,
but
yours fell off the truck as it was.
The liquor store was saying that they get 3 in a month.
Yep.
And they were on the last one. The delivery came on a Tuesday. She was there on a Thursday. And so 2 days later, and there was only one bottle left, so she bought it. She also scored a bottle of Buffalo Trace, which is, as you know, in Pennsylvania, incredibly difficult to find. But even in Jersey, it can be difficult too. So I was like fortunate to see that too.
Yeah, it's tricky to get a hold of. I mean, it's to the point where, like I said, my boy's one of the reps for the liquor stores, and he texted me and he was like, "Hey, look, there was a double order in my territory. I have like 2 extra bottles. I could hold one for you." Like, it's getting to that level. Obviously, it's not quite like Blanton's where it's they're collecting the tops and all that stuff. But I mean, Eagle Rare is a very difficult whiskey to get your hands on, and
yeah.
I mean, I can see why it's incredible.
But like $60 versus like $120 plus for Blanton's and Eagle, it's like not even a question for me, to be completely honest.
No, I think they're as good as each other.
The Blanton's, I feel like I would keep around for like 1 drink a year. You'd be like, okay, like maybe it's Christmas or your birthday or something. And you're like, let me have this Blanton's, but to be honest with you, I enjoy the flavor just as much of the Eagle Rare. So it's like the only reason I would do that is like the novelty of the name attached to it, and that's it.
Yeah, Blanton's is like looking at whiskey. Like it's a decoration on the shelf. Yeah,
the bottle is awesome.
Yeah.
But we got a comment here from our good friend Jeff Ward.
Oh, there's Jeff. What up? Thanks, Jeff. that contributed an awful lot to the program. Jeff would have been here today, but he was too busy whooping it up on the mean streets of Chester County. real Fresh Prince of Bel-Air style. But I don't want to take all the credit now, and especially now that I know Jeff is watching. The bachelor party gift was a combined gift from your whiskey ginger staff. So that was a Jeff and I combined venture. I don't want to.
Yeah, no, that was absolutely awesome. You guys were the real heroes, the real MVPs. Jeff and Brandon both got me a bottle of. Well, they collectively got me a bottle of Eagle Rare for basically the male version of a baby shower. I guess we decided that we were gonna have some of the boys get together, let all the girls do their thing for the baby shower, and then I took some of the boys out to a local restaurant and we got a couple drinks and some appetizers and stuff. And before we left, they graced me with this amazing bottle of Eagle Rare, which is sitting on my shelf, and I'm very grateful to have had it.
Yeah, well, this gets into one of the things we were going to talk about today. Obviously Jeff and I were at your baby shower, and shout out to you guys for making it co-ed, but also not making you guys do 3 hours of baby games. I sincerely appreciate that.
I think the one we did play was pretty good.
Yes. We'll have to find out from an unnamed party if we can post that or not, because there's somebody not in the whiskey ginger circle in that photo. I don't think they would mind, and the photo absolutely rocks.
That photo is legendary. We need to get that photo. I'm going to get it framed and give it to all you guys for Christmas.
I was going to say t-shirts. I'd love either one. But I wanted to ask, because one of the reasons Jeff and I got you the bottle was we were kind of thinking, like, one, guys don't usually go to these. It was unique you guys did it co-ed. But I was curious, when you guys got home and split up, the gifts or what people brought, what was the pie chart of you, Morgan, baby in the gift department?
The only gift I specifically got was the bottle of Eagle Rare, for sure.
Okay, I'm glad we brought it for real now.
So without you guys, everybody would have dropped the ball. So you guys single-handedly saved that day. But outside of that, most of it was definitely for the baby, and then there was a handful of stuff for Morgan on there.
Nice. Well, I mean, it's obviously it's a baby shower, so it's going to lean those two. But if you were having us all out for a dinner and a good time on the town, it felt weird to just be hearty handshaking, good luck with fatherhood. It felt like it deserved some kind of recognition.
Fair enough. I appreciate that. But to give the original context on the bottle, we wound up the one game that we did wind up playing, because baby showers, they always do all the guessing games and all these things that all the women typically play. That sounded edgy the way that it came out, but the way that the games that are played are usually catered towards. They're usually catered towards crowd of women, not towards co-ed. So we decided that because the guys were going to be around after we went to lunch, we did one game that was co-ed, and really it was more just the guys getting as embarrassed as possible. So it was a relay race where it was me, Brandon, Jeff, and my buddy Ryan had to run from one area in this field to the other to get a bib put on, then the other end of the field to get a diaper put on, and then we had to go chug
over our shorts.
Over our shorts, and then we had to go chug a baby bottle. And the rules for this challenge were not set in stone.
Everybody else seemed to be on the same page except for you.
Very loosey-goosey. So
it was drink the mixture out of the baby bottle, not...
I drank it out of the baby bottle.
If you take the lid off a baby bottle, it's no longer a baby bottle.
So my cousin, who was on my team, decided that it was a good idea for us to win, that instead of sitting there for a month of Sundays to actually sip it out of the baby bottle, he just cracked the top off of the sucker and just poured it down my throat, essentially. So we won in about a tenth of the time it would have taken anybody else to finish the round. And the grand prize for that was the small bottle of Jameson that you see here.
I think it's worth noting that I'm sure a lot of people at home are thinking that, I'm sure they put juice, water, lemonade, something of the sort in that baby bottle. It was definitely not that. And then a slightly less reasonable person might think, well, they probably did a very watered down bit. It was probably just a little bit of vodka and some juice just to make it kind of a sporting and adult. This, to me, was just lemonade vodka. This was not a gentle mixture of vodka and juice. If I had drank this as quickly as you did, I would have been absolutely hammered.
Well, to be fair, I didn't know it was in the bottle until I started drinking it, and by the time one like gulp was already in my throat, it was too late because I would have been waterboarded had I not like just continued to drink the liquid that was being forcibly poured down my throat while laying backwards.
And I think that was the best thing you could have done because everybody else who started off, following the rules and sipping out of the baby bottle top, we all got like a very accurate taste of what was in there. So then when it came
It's
time
probably
to chug
worse.
it was so much worse. It was just vodka that was getting through there. So then when my partner was like, "Oh, open the lid and chug it," the actual sentence was, "Here, face these 4 shots. It'll be fine."
That's probably excessive. It probably wasn't 4 shots, but it was pretty strong in the end. Stronger than I thought they would have done for a game like that.
Considering it was the last game of the day, we all had to drive home. Yeah, it was a little bit stronger than I was expecting too. And I know the girls didn't have like booze and stuff at theirs, but we went to a bar.
But the picture that followed is one for the record books. That is one of the most legendary photos to ever exist.
It goes unnecessarily hard.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can't imagine the camera's going to pick this up real well. We're going to give it a shot. No, it didn't do bad. I mean,
I love your caption on it. Has to be like whether I frame it or put it on a T-shirt. It's going to be like I'm going to use that over the original.
Oh, dad to the bone.
Because I love that. I think it's so funny.
It looks like we're a cover band of just dads. Like, obviously, even though you're the only dad in the photo, it's everybody's just like, at that point, like, late 20s, 30s, we all have diapers. It looks like a cover band strictly for dads who want to reclaim their youth.
It's also amazing because, like, I think it's really funny because we have the full context. But, like, if you had no context, like, if we had shown that picture first and just let people put it together, it's, like, so much worse than it actually is.
It's worse, but it also still fits the vibe. Like, if that was like a local, like, alt-rock punk band, I wouldn't blink twice at it. Like, oh, that's kind of quirky. Like, why did they dress up like babies? But okay.
Who are we to judge?
Yeah, like, I mean, people are doing that these days. Like, I could totally drop that on Reddit and we get picked up by some very peculiar subreddits. It might unlock a whole new audience.
Possibly. Speaking of things that people are doing nowadays, I noticed that, like, I've heard the term Ogtober thrown around. Is this something that you've heard, or am I, like, alone in hearing this?
So the term Ogtober is new to me, but I am very familiar with the idea of the false fall, which we're kind of in the middle of right now.
Like the fact that Starbucks releases their pumpkin spice like today, even though it's August 26th.
You forgot, I forgot to do it because you're not here, we're not outside, but it's a slightly chillier week than usual for the end of August in the Mid-Atlantic region.
It's coming to you first from meteorologist Brandon.
Well, I read the comments and I realized that I lead off every episode with a quick weather report, and I forgot to do that today.
If we didn't say the date of which the episode is done, our meteorology report is usually a pretty good indicator of what time of the year it is.
That is a great point. It also means that we're coming to you live. We can't possibly bank these because we're looking outside and giving you the weather as we do it.
Well, I'll tell you what, this week is looking to be one of my favorite end of August weeks of all time because it is going to be a nice 73 degrees tomorrow of the high, and I am very ready for that. It's going to be very nice.
Yeah, man.
I know that to your point, though, it is false fall. I'd be willing to bet. We are pretty late in August. But like September is definitely known for having some pretty hot weather as well. And I would not be surprised if we got like a couple more high 80, low 90 degree days before true fall kicks in.
Yeah, September usually has one last punch left in it, and then October. But to your point about the way this month is ending, I have a wedding that my fiance's up in the Poconos this weekend. So you're talking how light it's going to be here, 73 and all that. But if you go about an hour north of us, I mean, it's going to be proper fall. It's going to be a little bit breezy, a little chilly, mountains. I am so excited. And she's in the wedding. I'm not. So I have all day Saturday just to fuck around before I got to be in a suit by 5. So the world.
And there's nothing better than like knowing you have to wear a suit, but it being comfortable weather. Like that's the best feeling ever. Like it's tough when it's 90 out and you got to put that suit on. But when it's going to be like a nice 65, 70 degree day, you're like, I could deal with that.
Yeah, I'm borderline comfortable. I mean, suits in July suck, but at the end of August is no problem. Plus, I mean, you and Jeff have discovered this. I mean, I have a full day to kill in a roughly central PA mountain town. I'm going to find an awesome bar to watch some college football at. Like,
you just got to find like the town of 300 people. There'll
yeah.
definitely be one out there for sure.
I'm going to a place where it's cash only. The bartender puts it in her pocket, and people can bring their own mixers. I'm setting up shop, and I'm watching the full slate of football.
There's no pour thing on the end of the bottle. They just like open up the bottles, and they just dump it in there.
Just let her rip.
You're gonna stumble into the wedding.
Well, I mean, I'm going to try and reel it in a little bit because I do like to maintain a peaceful household, and I don't know if me showing up hammered is going to be the best thing for that.
Yep. Well, it would be good in the moment, probably not good afterwards.
It'd be great.
And I would be willing to argue. I'd be willing to argue that if she's in the wedding, she'll probably show up to the wedding a little toasty too, though.
No, I don't think so with this one.
No,
the Bachelorette that they were on. It sounded nice, but it was relaxing.
They went to the library.
They went to a spa. They did a dinner cruise. They went out for some cocktails. Which, hey, to each their own, and it was probably a good time. But it also doesn't lend me to believe that they're going to be turning up before the wedding. I mean, this I could be wrong. This feels like some light cocktails and some champagne, maybe.
Some bubbly.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be a lot of light beers and whiskey or anything like that.
That's a shame, right there. That's the biggest shame of all. I think that life is better with some beer and whiskey.
Hey, when we were picking out my bar, I said I need domestics and I need brown liquor, and they said, "Sir, we got you covered."
Sounds like a pretty easy request.
Yeah. I mean, pretty simple. We're getting, from what I understand, a pallet of Crown Royal for a select few of our guests. I'm not paying for it, but I never knew you could order liquor by the pallet.
Now you know.
Evidently, we can, but
I mean, you're next on the chopping block here for some major life events to come through. So.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's yeah. I mean, it's so funny. Not to say funny, but like, Chris is one of my groomsmen, and I'm going through kind of different ideas on what to do for like a bachelor party, and I'm getting so many different. Everyone's at a different stage in life. Like I have one buddy who's single, a couple others who are engaged, 2 dads by that time. So I'm getting everything from like Nashville to Vegas to like the Jersey Shore. You can guess who's who. And we're gonna end up staying local, but it's just that's how like the best way to find out what stage each of your buddies are in. It's like how quickly can you get away and how far can you go? Mm-hmm. And the single guy's like, dude, cross country, let's do it. And then my other buddy who's gonna be a dad was like, dude, Jersey rocks. How about we do Jersey?
I think they're tough because I mean like those destination bachelor parties and bachelorette parties are a lot of fun, but I mean, like, I think that the most fun that you have is with the people that you invite. Like, that's why you'd hope that you'd put people in your wedding and people on your bachelor party that are like good, fun, social people that you can have a good time anywhere. Because like, if you're telling them to spend a good portion potentially of their budget just to get to the place where you're going, the amount of fun that you're going to be able to have once you get there is going to be like dramatically lower. I'd rather spend way less money getting somewhere and then spending a ton more money like at the place we're at. That's my
Yeah,
take on it. But
no, I'm 100% with you, and we can close on. I know you want to get to one other topic, and this kind of is a decent segue because it is kind of two different schools of thought, and there's, I think you and I grew up under a similar one where, you can either, max out like everything, that you have on like, stuff and a house and whatever, and then just live with what's left, or you can kind of reel back a little bit and then spend that money you would have spent on, the objects and the house and all kind of on like experiences and stuff. So now that you're gonna have a big say in that in somebody else's life here coming up soon, would you do things the same way that you were brought up with, or would you make any changes for yourself?
I don't know. I mean, like it comes down to core values for sure. I think that like when it came to my family, we had like a pretty nice house and everything, but like it was more about living within our means to the point where like if I wanted something, it's not like everything was just handed on a silver platter, but it was like, yeah, like do a little bit of work and you can definitely get that. I mean, like pretty much I was shown that the work rewards you with things. So I think that I would probably be a lot less materialistic in the way that I raise my kids because that was similar to how I grew up, and I just find that it works better for me. Not everybody's like that. There's people that are definitely materialistic. I mean, I'm sitting here with like a giant TV in the background, but that's like the
You have a
one,
cinema behind you.
yeah, that's like the one nice TV that I've like ever owned, and like I like it. It's like the one splurge. I like movies, so like for me, that's the thing. Like I won't buy anything for myself typically, but like every now and again, somebody like my wife or my family or whatever will be like, "You don't spend any money. Like, why don't you just like splurge on something?" And usually when I do, it's like on something that's a big ticket item, just to like do what I want to do every now and again. But I would say that's probably how I'm gonna pass that along. I don't know about how you feel about it. If you feel like you're gonna be similar, different to how you were raised, if it means anything to you differently.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I would change too much. I mean, I know it's been a couple years, but you've been to my parents' house. Like it's it is the definition of like enough. Where there was three of us in the house at any one time because other people were already out,
Sure.
and as long as I've been alive, my mom's always had two or three like odds and ends jobs because she liked the schedule flexibility. She liked being around because I'd be there were hardly ever a time I was home when my mom wasn't home, which was nice growing up. And my dad had like a big, fancy office job in Philly. I guess the theory that I always respected was they had enough money to get a huge house they could barely afford. But I appreciated that they stayed in this little Cape Cod in Delco. But we also got to do like the coolest shit. Weekends we go canoeing or kayaking, or we go to Hershey Park, or I was like in sixth grade. We went to London for the first time. Like I would do that the exact same way because, I would rather have a lifetime of like experiences and things rather than this super cool house that you're just stuck in. And we had friends who go the other way. They were like, I go over their house and it was like way bigger, huge playroom, big TVs, like all that stuff. And I was like, oh, this is sick. But then like they wouldn't go anywhere. So it was this kind of toss up.
I don't mean to call people out, but I feel like I knew a lot of people growing up that like their families had a lot of stuff, big flashy house, big cars, like all these different things, and you're hitting the nail right on the head. It's like they didn't go anywhere, they didn't do much, and then like when it really came down to it, I felt like there was a lot of showiness for the sake of showiness. And if that's how you want to live your life, you could do anything you want. It doesn't really matter, but like it doesn't make you any wealthier, and I would almost argue that it makes you poorer. Not the fact that you don't have the money, but like your family ties and like your social constructs are probably not as down to earth if you're just doing it to show people, hey, look at what I have. Like that doesn't really promote good bonds and relationships and socialization.
Yeah, and it's also like, I think it's kind of lost on people too. Like, I mean, you know, when people come to visit, if you have all these things, it's cool for them. I can't imagine
Mhm.
after a couple of years it's that cool for you because it becomes your normal. So
Yeah.
you kind of wonder like what you're doing it for. Whereas, I would rather have, enough, like just enough. We never wanted for things, but we also weren't drowning in things. But it was
Sure.
also like, oh, hey, what are you doing this summer? Oh, we're gonna go to Florida. We're gonna go to Nevada. We're gonna go see the country, see the world, or whatever. What are you guys doing? Well, I don't know. Some day trips here or there, and I don't. If you take this out of context, I'm not. It is not a thing like, oh, if you can't afford fancy trips, it's not worth it. I guess what I'm hitting at is like the reason why you can't afford those experiences is where I would have the issue. Like,
Yeah.
you have just enough, and then live a life. Like, don't spend everything you have on just a house and things, and then have nothing left over.
For sure. 100% agree.
That's just that's just my theory, but. We just went over, and I don't want to get any preacher than we probably already have been, but I think it's a worthwhile conversation.
Life advice by Brandon and Chris.
Yeah, I mean, it's Chris is going into a different phase of life, so it'll be the first time you get to influence that on anybody else. I thought it was worth bringing up.
I might have some lessons to share shortly.
Yeah, well, hopefully not. Hopefully not next podcast. We got a couple more at least.
Exactly.
But in the meantime, I'm Brandon. That's Chris. We're the Whiskey Gingers. We'll see you next time.